Hello. How are you? Okay. I'm back once again. Ready? Can't remember the songs anymore. How are we doing? What's going on? I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just I'm a bit tired actually. I just walked 10 miles. Oh, it's a Sunday here as well, which is odd for a Sunday. It's a Sunday evening. It's weird, isn't it? Because the days are getting longer. You forget. It happens every year, but you always do the same bloody. Oh, look how the days are getting longer. Stupid. It's just a stupid thing. Every year since you were born, it's happened, and you're still. What a surprise! The days are getting longer. It's amazing. Hope everybody's well. Restrictions are lifting tomorrow, the 12th of April, but lifting a little more. So as long as the, like I said before, people aren't idiots, let's hope that all is positive and going forward, just so we can kind of get back to seeing people. And I've seen some people like on my travels this week, which has been nice to talk to different, or just briefly seeing people and saying hello to people. Oh, that's nice. Saw somebody today as well, which is nice. Haven't seen for a long time. Well, I was walking down the Wrekin. They were walking up the Wrekin. But yeah, hope you're all doing well. I hope everything is tickety boo. The weather's been a bit up and down. I always call it bipolar weather because it's 20 degrees, then it's like minus one, snowing, about all sorts. Over the last week and a half, I've had all sorts of weather. What a strange. That's the weather. The weather thing always makes me laugh. It's like it was something I think my brother-in-law used to say, that if you're sitting in a room, especially with some of the older folk, and he said that the conversation dies, just start talking about the weather. Everybody always has an opinion on the weather. Everybody loves talking about the weather. So he said you can get the conversation started up again by started talking about the weather. I'm gonna massage me calf while I'm talking to you, specifically you. It's a bit tight. It's all tight. So I'm not doing anything untoward down here. It's my leg and my slippers. My slippers, not me slippers. But yes, again, I didn't come with anything prepared. I just I think I helped somebody out last week. Last Sunday, feeling a bit down. Had a nice conversation, and down and upset, I think they were. And a nice conversation, and it's good to talk. Which is what I always say. It's nice to get all that sort of out in the open, get it out in the air, get it out in the universe, and it sometimes makes you feel better. Also, I can just talk. I've got verbal diarrhea, like I've mentioned before. So I've always got an opinion on something. Might be helpful, might not be. I've been listening to this guy called Jim Quick this week. He's like he's a brain guy. He does sort of gives you sort of tips and tricks and memory and brain and helping you with things like that. And to the point where I only listened to him on, I want to say Thursday, and he was talking about the brain foods that help you with just help with. They're healthy foods anyway, like healthy fats and healthy stuff like that. But then a lot of that is helpful to you to help in your brain. And they're called superfoods, super brain foods, and stuff like that. And it was 10 things, and he said, "I'll give you a way of remembering them, which after you do them, you won't forget them." So he said, first you got to have your body parts. So we're going to do it by body part. So I'm going to teach you how to do this, and you'll remember them. And when you go to the shop, you will remember them. So the first one is top, which is the top of your head. So remember the top of your head. Then we go to the nose. Then the ears. No, top of the head, nose, mouth. Top of the head, nose, mouth. Ears, throat, fingers. No, get it right. I know I remember them, but I can remember in different order now. So throat. I'll go through these again. Throat, shoulders, collarbone, fingers, belly button, or belly, and your bum, your rear. So top of the head, nose, mouth, ears, throat, shoulders, collarbone, belly. No, collarbone, fingers, belly, and your bum. So your first one is top of the head. Top of the head would be your avocado, good fats, healthy foods. So these are healthy, good foods for your brain. I'm not going to go into why they're healthy. You can look that up yourself. But so avocado. So what you have to imagine is the avocado is you're balancing avocados on your head. That's what you would do if you're balancing avocado on your head. So avocado, balancing on your head. Then you go to your nose. Your nose would be your blueberries. So just imagine blueberries, pew, 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 shooting at your nose. Blueberries at your nose. Then you're going to go to your mouth. There's broccoli. Broccoli, blueberries, antioxidants. Broccoli, healthy foods, isn't it? Green foods. There's trees of broccoli coming out your mouth. Bushes of broccoli. I can't speak because I've got broccoli in my mouth. Like that. And then ears is coconut oil, which is full of MCTs. I know that one, which is really good for your head. Waterfalls of coconut oil coming out your ears. Then you've got is your eggs. Again, they're good healthy fats in your eggs and proteins and all sorts. But that's your throat is a big egg just in your throat. You're not the throat there. You've got an egg there, an egg. And then you go to your shoulders. Shoulders would be leafy greens, so spinach, kale. So your shoulders are made out of leafy greens on your shoulders. And then you've got your collarbone, which is salmon. So you've got to imagine a necklace made out of nice pink salmon. Imagine that. That would smell lovely. So your necklace of salmon, and then you've got your fingers, which is turmeric. So just imagine if you've ever worked with turmeric, and you can just imagine yellow fingers, just yellow turmeric fingers. You can say, oh, it's golden. It never gets out your bloody nails. I know this. You know this if you live in an Indian household because you eat with your hands. And healthy fingers. Turmeric fingers. Then you go to your belly, which is walnuts, which is again shooting at your belly is walnuts. Just firing out. Just keep them falling out. They're falling out. I've just got loads of walnuts coming out of my belly button. And then you got your dark chocolate, which is your rear, which is your bum. Now I equated it to poo, but you can do it how you want. But your rear is your dark chocolate. So you just imagine sitting in chocolate. That would be nice. You then mistaken it for poo. But there you go. So you got avocado, blueberries, broccoli, coconut oil, eggs, leafy greens, salmon, turmeric, walnuts, and dark chocolate. There you go. Remember them all. And this is from the. I still remember them. But yeah, it's just they're good food for you. But it's a good memory trick. It's something I learned. So similar something I think with Darren Brown. I was watching something with Darren Brown, and he did that in a similar way. Of the more ridiculous you make the image, it's easier for you to remember it. So he did one along the same lines, and he gave like 10 words, and it was. If I read them again, I can remember the images. I just need to remember them. I mean, there was monkey, the button, monkey, buttons. But there was different ones. But it was like again, it was making a mental image. So with that is like you're making that. Top of that, balancing an avocado on your head, blueberry shooting. So the more ridiculous you make an image, it makes it easier to remember because that's how your brain remembers these things. And well, not how your brain remembers things, but you're more likely to remember something silly and ridiculous rather than making just if you're just trying to read off a list. Like, okay, I'm going to remember all those, and then you've probably forgotten the first 5 and remember the last 3. That's what I mean. But that is a good way. It's like they call it a mind map. I think it's like a mind map of things. So you're just using parts of your body. So you can equate one thing to that. It's an interesting way, and they're useful things to remember when you're in the shops. Going touch top your end, you got avocados, walnuts. But yes, I hope that was helpful. And the more I learn, the more I'll teach. Because that's one of the things he says is that if you teach people, you're more likely to retain that information. He said one thing about, which was really interesting, was about he said, imagine your brain is a supercomputer, which it is. And if you constantly are programming it with negative, so, I know we all do it. I do it. I'm rubbish at X. I'm crap at that. I'm always going to be rubbish at this. And, I can't do that, and I'll never be able to do that. Is that if you're constantly writing that code, say for instance, I can't run. I'll never be able to run. You can, but no, it's not for me. It's because you don't want to. That's basically normally what it is. But yeah, okay, that running's probably not one. The memory thing is like what he was talking about was that I've got a crap memory. I've got a rubbish memory. I'm never going to have a very good memory. So, so be it. So if you're constantly saying that, then you're basically programming your own brain to, that's what you're going to think. If you just say, I've not got a good memory yet, you're leaving it open then. At least you're giving yourself the option of being able to improve it. And I don't know whether, there's certain things that I have improved. But, if I find a method to help improve it, then I'll keep on trying it. If it's simple and easy, which is what people want, isn't it? It's simple and easy. That's pretty simple and easy with the using your body as a map. Why not? Why not try it? It's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you. Because he was saying about remembering people's names as well, and he was saying one of the tips that he gave was saying it back. So you say it back. So when you meet somebody, say, "Hello, my name's Dal. What's your name?" And they go, "My name is Dave." All right, Dave. So he's basically saying, once you said it, you're more likely to retain that information because you've said it out loud yourself, or you've said it a couple of times. Or he said if they've got an unusual name, ask them more about their name in terms of like, oh, okay, oh, that's an unusual name. That's an interesting name. Where's that from? Is that like, what's it mean? And if it's interesting and unusual, you're more likely to remember. And the other one was that, again, using the ridiculous image thing, was that make your link to that name a ridiculous thing. So he used the example in something I was listening to. It was like, if somebody's called Mark, I'm just imagining a box on their head with a little tick on it, which is a mark. It's a mark on the head, and I'll remember that mark on the head, and eventually that tick will disappear off the head, but the name will stick because I've remembered it. But it's just that image. I just need that image, and it's an easy way. It's interesting. It was like just association with a lot of it is the memories, association with something familiar to you or something ridiculous to you. Because if you think about it like that, if somebody's got the name of, say, a parent, same name as a parent, or same name as a kid of yours, or same name as someone close to you, you're more likely to remember, that's the person with the same name. So it's just making it a familiar thing. That's what I think he was getting at. Maybe it'll help you. I don't know. But, I'm always here for tips and tricks. Diet Pepsi. Can't drink, I just dribbled it. That was... But yeah. What else has been happening? Falcon the Winter Soldier. It's excellent. It's a really good episode, that last one. Really enjoyed that. I've been watching this Korean Sisyphus. I think I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's pretty good. I've quite enjoyed that. It's like timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. But you have to read it, unfortunately. For those people who don't like subtitles, it's a reading one. Because Korean ones are never dubbed. I've noticed that. If you ever watch any of the Korean TV series, because the Japanese ones are dubbed, and a lot of the other, like, Yeah, a lot of the other country ones are dubbed, but I've noticed the Korean ones don't dub. They have the English subtitles and that's it. I wonder why that is. Do you know? I don't know. I should look it up really. I don't know why I'm asking. You know, people ask you. I've said this to a few people. People ask me questions like, "Do you know about this?" And I was like you know, they genuinely they've reached out to me and asked me this question about X. And I don't know anything about it. And all I'm literally going to do is use Google or whatever search engine you want to use, and look it up. That's all I'm going to do, and give them the information I find. Why people don't do that in the first instance, and then ask if anybody else knows anything else about it, I don't know. But the first thing I do, even if it's something to do with my work or anything like that, I'll Google it first just to see what information's out there. Just because sometimes it's easier to digest than me trying to explain it. If I can find something that explains it a lot easier than me explaining it, then I'll do it that way. But I don't understand why before asking, why don't they just like Google? Because people have genuinely asked me questions and I've Googled it. I've gone back and that brilliant. Thanks for that, fantastic. And it's literally been the first option in the search as well. I don't know why didn't you just. You've got your phone. You've took the time to message me. Just please Google it. People, I don't understand people. Yeah, definitely don't understand people. Yes. So, what else? There's nothing else been happening. It's all quiet on the Western Front. Like I said, it'll be nice to see some humans next week, hopefully. Yeah, it's just been nice seeing people out when I'm on my travels, just in passing, just saying hello and being friendly. And the weather, as long as the weather stays alright. It looks sunny, it's quite cool. It is a bit chilly. I think I've cooled down now, so and I've got shorts on, and my legs are a little bit cold. But yes, my phone just said downloading an update. Somebody did ask me about my nonsense. No, they're not nonsense. They are nonsense. They're not nonsense. What other stupid things I did? I did many stupid things as a child, like many of us did. Things I haven't done. Okay, what haven't I done? You know, I've never been to a concert. Did you know that? Not really. Like a proper. I've been to a couple of gigs, like, but not an actual like sort of concert like stay like to see a band or anything like that. I've never seen. I've seen them like sort of people I know, bands I've known playing in a pub, which is different, obviously. So I wouldn't really. They're like little gigs, aren't they? They're not like a concert. So I've never been to one. I've never been to a festival. I'm never quite sure about festivals. There's a lot of camping, and you know how I feel about that. Might be fun actually. I don't know. I just dismiss them without even trying them, which is standard way nowadays, isn't it? But yeah, I've just got my film addiction. So I've got this weird thing that I remember which film I saw first at which cinema. So, for instance, where I grew up in Wolverhampton, the first film at the sort which is now, if you know Wolverhampton, it's now, well, I don't know if it still is, I haven't been there for ages, but Oceana in Wolverhampton, which used to be the Canon cinema for those old enough to remember. I watched, that was the first cinema film I watched. I went to watch Young Einstein there with the Yahoo series. Look that shit up. You can see how long ago it was as well, because I would have watched it when it was fairly new released. So that's how long ago it was when I went to the cinema for the first time. Watch that, Young Einstein at the cinema. I remember watching Terminator 2 at that cinema as well. Classic. I've only watched a few films then. Then they opened Showcase in Walsall, which was a multiplex. That was the first multiplex we had that I went to. I think Maryhill had probably had it before, but Showcase on Junction 10, which is still there, dive of a cinema at the moment. Well, one of the times I went there a few years ago, I was I was wearing slip-on shoes, so no lace shoes, and the floor was so sticky, my shoe stuck to the floor and actually came off my foot. And so, yeah, it ain't the same. I think Cineworld kind of took their thunder a lot. They were just a bit more slick. But yeah, Bird on a Wire, starring Goldie Hawn and Mel Gibson at the Showcase Cinema, not Showcase Cinema, yeah, Showcase Cinema in Warsaw. I remember watching that there. The first time I did 3 films in a week was at the Showcase in Warsaw. I did Speed, Forrest Gump, and Pulp Fiction, 3 in 3 days. I used to catch the bus to the cinema, so I'd have to catch the bus to town, the 5:10, and then catch the 5:29 to Warsaw to go and watch a film at the cinema. Oh mate, you just don't think how much time that took, but I managed it. That's 3 days in a row I went to the cinema on a bus. But yeah, crazy. And I remember watching The Exorcist at the Odeon in New Street in Birmingham. I remember watching Toy Story there as well. I remember watching Natural Born Killers in the which one's the one in Merry Hill? Is it Odeon? I think it's the Odeon in Merry Hill. I watched Natural Born Killers there. Love that film. Crazy film that was. My plan. What I haven't been able to do is do 3 films in one day. I've done 2 films in one day. What I would recommend is never do 2 3D films in one day, because that messes your it gives you a headache basically with the glasses and everything. But I still haven't never been able to get the timings right for 3 films in one. 2 films in one day I've done. The first film has to be earlier. It has to be like sort of 10-ish for the next, and then I mean you're still not going to finish till about 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. But I want to be able to do the 3 films in a day. The last time I did 2 films in a day was I watched The Joker, the latest one, which gave me anxiety. Which, if you've seen it, you can understand why it gave me anxiety. And so I had to need something to calm me down after a watch. So I came out. I looked at the what showings, see what's on. So that'll do. So I went to watch It Chapter 2. That chilled me out. So yeah, that's probably one of my addictions, isn't it? Films. I like watching films. I like going to the cinema. I like going by myself, which people still don't get, which I don't understand why they don't get it. Why don't you get the fact that I like going to the cinema by myself? I don't go to the cinema. Not that I don't like going with other people, because I go with other people as well. I mean, there's plenty of people I've been to watch films with, but I don't go to the cinema to have a conversation. I go to the cinema to watch a film. So I'll have a conversation beforehand, I'll have a conversation after, but I want to watch the film. Leave me. So it's like 2 hours. It's like I do call it my happy place. Do just like some days when I've been to watch a film and I've just sat there going, I just sat there like that. I love this. Sometimes I'll take my jacket off if it's cold, or if it's a colder day, I'll have my coat with me and I'll turn my coat around and use it as a blanket, and I'll just sit there and I'll go, this is fantastic. I love it here. I love the cinema. It's great to just head back and watch a film. The last film I watched was Wonder Woman. It was during lockdown and the cinema was open, so I thought I ain't watched it. I might as well go and watch it. Watch the Odeon with the funky seats. But yeah, that's I go to the cinema. You go to the cinema to watch a film. You don't go to the cinema to have a conversation. That's why I never understood people who went on dates to the pictures. They got nothing to say to each other there. Let's go on a date. Okay, I'll meet you at the cinema. Okay, we'll go to the cinema, and you literally little chat. You want something? Get the tickets. You want something to eat, and a little chat. Film starts, and you're quiet. You're sitting in a fucking date for X amount of hours, and you've not spoken to each other. And then I've got to go now. After the film, like, what was the point of that? We just sat in a room together and watched a film. Surely it would be more interesting if you went to have a conversation somewhere. I don't know. Just my 2 pence worth on that one. But yeah, I suppose it's a good way of getting out if you're shy. But then you know, it's not going to help you. You've got to be able to talk. But yeah, cinema addiction. That's my addiction. Love. I miss the cinema. I miss going. I know a lot of people aren't that bothered by it, but there's just something about it. I think it was sorry about that. Always looking for food. It's food in the dungeon. Oh shit, I can't remember what I was saying. Cinemas, addictions, they're not good. I think I've got an addictive personality, that's my problem. Not people are addicted to me. If I latch on to something, I do kind of go overboard with it. No, I think I've got an addictive personality, but I'm lazy. So I can't bother to do it today. So it's a good thing actually. My laziness it does help me. Gets me out of trouble sometimes, or puts me into trouble a lot of the times as well. But yes, I kind of wow. I was leading into something. I swear I was leading into something. It's gone. It's gone. But you don't need to know that. You don't need to know about that. I've made the decision. I'll save that for another time. But yeah, so yes, I think the cinema thing came from because as a kid I was never taken to the cinema, and I always wanted to go to the cinema. So when I was able to go to the cinema by myself, then it was like became a thing, and then I kind of got used to it by myself. And then if you go in the daytime, there's less people there, so you never had the worry of there's so many people and the noise and stuff like that. So it's quite quiet when I've been to the cinema. There's not a lot of people, or sometimes there's no people in the screening, which I had like private screenings. One of the ones I remember, which was brilliant, was Get On Up, the James Brown biopic with Chadwick Boseman, the late Chadwick Boseman in it, and that was brilliant because it was definitely a whim. I finished early from doing something, and it was at Showcase Warsaw actually, and I was driving down the M6, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna see if there's anything on, because I'm driving past the cinema, and I was early, so I was like, nobody was expecting me. So I pulled over, got off the motorway, and then actually went to the car park at the cinema, checked on my phone what's on, and that was on. I thought, wow, I like James Brown, might be interesting, watch it. So I got a ticket because they're always a bit cheaper in the daytime as well. Got a ticket to watch that, and there was nobody in there. Me by myself it wasn't a massive screen, it was a decent sized screen. It was one of the smaller screens, but it was a decent sized screen for me, personal private viewing basically. And I swear I sang. I was pretty hoarse after that because I sang because everybody knows James Brown songs, and I was singing them because there's nobody in there. So I got into the film, and it was brilliant. It's a really good film as well. It's a really good film. I've seen it like 2 or 3 times since, but yeah, that was the only time I would condone being noisy in the cinema is if you're by yourself in there and you're not distracting anybody else. I've been in one of my pet peeves, and this isn't a anti anything. This is actually it is an anti something because it's not when you go in the daytime and if people have been in the daytime to the cinema, what you'll find is a lot of people are carers who would, if a person's disabled or have any health issues like that need a carer, they'd take them out and do activities to get and one of the things they do is take them to the cinema, which I ain't got a problem with that. That's fine, take them because it's different. It's a different environment and something for them to do. But this one specific one was what film was it? Because it was quite a it was one of the I think it was the second Planet of the Apes film. I think it was of the latest iteration of the Planet of the Apes. So it was the second one, and so I'm sitting there. So there was a fair number. It's like 20 odd people in there, 25 people. There was 2 carers, I think, and 1 person. I don't know if it was male or female in a wheelchair, but it was dark, so I can't really explain what they were, how they were, the situation within the wheelchair. But okay, film started. It's fine. It's going on. When it started getting a bit noisier, and the person in the wheelchair started making a lot of noise. Whether they were scared or they were excited, I don't know, because they weren't speaking. They were just like, it was like, and it was like, okay, and you kind of, okay, it's, fair enough, whatever, that's fine. But then it became a constant thing, and then they would be going, oh, calm down. You could see them because they have a disabled sort of section at the front where there's a space for wheelchairs and stuff like that. They would go, calm down, and they wouldn't. They would just carry on. So, and then eventually one of them would take the person out, like, in the wheelchair, take them outside, and then a couple of minutes later come back in, and then, okay, it's normal, watching. Something would happen, and they would do it again, and they would constantly keep on doing it, and it kept on happening throughout the whole film. Ruined the film, in fairness. Just because that you're not concentrating on what's happening, you're seeing what's happening down there. Are they in pain? Is it scaring them? And they didn't. They were there for them. They weren't there for that person. Because whether that person was stimulated or not, I don't know. But it was like, with no care about the other people within the building. And I'm not saying that disabled people shouldn't be able to go to. This isn't a thing about that. This is a thing about those carers, because I've seen it with a lot of them. They take no notice of a lot. But some of the ones I've seen, they take no notice of the person they're meant to be caring for. They're just having it as a day out. They're getting paid for it, aren't they? Some of them are having it as a day out, and because I've seen where they've been, you've seen the person they're meant to be caring for just walking around. But luckily, I mean, not distract, not hurting, not affecting anybody within the cinema who's watching the film. But you can just see them just walking around. They're just not interested whatsoever. They'll walk, and then, if they see them walking outside, then they'll stop them and bring them back and sit them down, and then they'll just walk around the cinema, which is distracting in itself when you see someone just walking around. But it's like I've seen it so many times, and that's not every single one of them, because a lot of them I've seen where I've seen the people have been genuinely sort of into the film. Like anybody going to the cinema would be genuinely into the film and watching it and getting excited and laughing, and and that's good, that's brilliant, and that's what they should do. But with some of them, it's like they're just treating it as a little cash cow, isn't it? It's like, oh yeah, take them to the cinema, we can get to watch a film. They're not going to know what's going on or whatever. But it's like with that one specifically, it was that there was no care about anybody else, and not that I complained. I did say that when I walked out that that you need to have a word with those carers, because that person, I don't know whether that person was upset. I didn't complain about them. I complained about the them. Is that, make sure that person's all right in the wheelchair, because there was a lot of noise coming. Other people did complain. I did hear them complaining, saying it was terrible, and some people asking for refunds and shit like that, get involved in all that. But it was just like, I've had that thing, I've never talked about that really. Me and Cam have spoken about it, because he's been with me on a few of them as well. But yeah, it's not right. It's not right. Tell me what you think. I don't know. I've rambled on for 33 minutes. So I hope everything is okay. I will be back before you know it, and if you're feeling down, turn that frown upside down. I just made that up. I didn't make that up. That's something. You're welcome to talk to me anytime. If you need me to be your personal counsellor, psychotherapist, I'm definitely psycho. I'm here for you all, especially you. See you later.